let's get this party started. Thank you guys for joining us on our team Zoom. We're going to get through recognition super duper fast since we have our business opportunity webinar at 9, and I want to make sure Marina and Kat can get all of their info in. So recognition, congrats to top producers, Gene Reed with 800, holy schlomosies, Patrick Paquette, Kat McMaster, Aaron Wilson and Angie Astry with 400 PV, way to go. And a lot of people are almost at Success Club. This is the time to push, y'all. I know I'm going for Success Club 10 this week. I am not messing around. I'm not going to wait till the end of the month. Top team builders, Kat McMaster, Jenna Braunberger, Tanai Alexander, and Carlise Wilson is not on there because he just created a Facebook account. And new Emerald coach, Jenna Braunberger. Woo, woo. Way to go. Yay, team.
Awesome. All right. So good job, PV. Katie, Andrea Sullivan, 400, Madeline, 300, and then almost there we have Michelle Murray and Sarah Gage signed. They were the first 2 to sign coaches this month, so good job, ladies. Andrew McMath, Bethany, Liz, and Eva. And I know we have a couple more, I think as of today. I know Rachel signed someone else, and we had a couple more. So update the doc, guys. Make sure you update that as you sign people. Oh, Kara also has 2. Team builders for the week. Woo! Michelle Murray, Chiang, Eva, myself, Deanna, Rachel, Stacy, Allie, Andrew, Sarah, Kara, Amanda, Allie, Stacy, Caitlin, Amanda, Leah. Oh, wow, these are all repetitive. Sarah, Courtney, Kyra, Elizabeth, Steve, Brittany, Liz, Jacob, Michelle, and Amy. Woohoo! Good job, guys. Good recruiting week. Really ended the month strong, which is good. Oh, recognition. Sorry. I was looking at something different. Yay for Liz and Kyra, new Emeralds on Team Discover Fit. Great job, guys. And then we have Andrew McMath, aka Allie, 1 star now, which is really exciting.
What? Okay, announcements really quickly. The Surge with Carl Deichler is going to be January 4th, so mark your calendars. He's going to be announcing where the Success Club trip is next in 2017, and you want to make sure you're on that so you know it's going to be really exciting. And then Super Saturdays, January 9th. Mark your calendar for that. Make live events a non-negotiable. Super Saturday, you need to be there. And then Jimmy Hayes Nelson is a millionaire earner in Insanity Empire, hosting another live playbook. It's a 3-hour live event that he's going to be doing. Sign up for it. I was on the last one, and it was freaking awesome. So if you have new coaches or you're a coach that's struggling a little bit, or even I learned a lot from it, I highly suggest you get on. So coachjimmy.leadpages.co/playbook, sign up for it. And now we're going to get to Marina and Kat are going to be sharing. We were in Florida this past week for our leadership retreat, and I had a John Maxwell coach come and speak with us about developing leaders on the team. So they're going to be sharing their top takeaways. So I need to make sure that they are unmuted. I'm unmuting you, Marina, so you can go right ahead, girl. Unmuted you. Do I need to unmute you again? Don't touch anything. Let me do it. Why is it not working? Megan.
Want me to try?
Yeah. Oh, there she is. Wait. Don't touch it now. You're good.
Okay, so I'm unmuted now?
You're good.
Good. Okay, so I need a favor from you, okay? Because I'm doing this from my phone. So when I'm finished a slide, can you click on the next slide for me, please?
Of course I can. You guys make sure you take good notes, because this is valuable. This information is gold. This can rock your business. So take notes. And close Facebook. Go ahead, Marina.
Okay, so hi guys. I'm really excited to talk to you all today about what we learned, and this is going to be a bunch of nuggets. So if you have a pen and paper handy, I suggest you get that out, and but check the recording, because these were some really great takeaways from the coach that we spoke to. So tonight when I'm going to start, I just really want you guys to dig inside yourselves and ask yourselves these questions, so to change what you're going to do the next coming year in 2016 to help you accomplish your goals and get over your fears. So developing leaders around you. So the 2 most important questions that leaders ask themselves is, 1, am I developing my potential as a leader? And number 2, am I helping my leaders develop their potential? Okay, so can you truly ask yourself why you started being a coach? What really made you become a coach? Number one, is it to change lives and be a leader you're meant to be? Or is it just for the discounting, like having accountability with your health and fitness? That's fine. But whatever the reasons are, own it. And second, what is your legacy going to be? What kind of mark do you want to leave? And what kind of mark do you think you left in 2015? Next slide, Rachel. Okay. So grow the people, grow the organization. This is your team. If you're not growing the people in your team, you're not growing your organization. So remember, leaders attract other leaders. So before I can lead or you can lead others, you have to lead yourself. So this begins with your journey, like why you started this. One, it could be I want to make a difference. Two, I want to make a difference with people. Three, I want to make a difference with people who want to make a difference. Or four, I want to make a difference with people who want to make a difference and who can make a difference. And number five, I want to make a difference with people who want to make a difference and can make a difference, doing something what makes a difference. And there's no other company like Team Beachbody to do just that. Next slide. Okay, so every organization has a sort of elite of leaders. We all understand that in our jobs. Like no one's going to be like, I got too many leaders. That's one thing we all learned. And it's hard to find leaders. So when people leave the organizations, their jobs, 65% of them are actually even their managers. So this is a real statistic. So you have to look at yourself and you have to ask yourself, who you are is who you attract. So you have to ask yourself, what am I attracting? So when you look at your team, think about who you are attracting and why. So she gave us a great example. I'm going to go fast, but she gave us an acorn. And she gave us an acorn and asking us, are you creating the right environment for your team to grow? So if you throw that acorn in the road and a car runs over it, the acorn's not going to grow. But if you plant it in good soil and water it and nurture it, that acorn is going to grow into a humongous tree and produce more acorns and more trees. And that's exactly what we're striving to do with our teams. If you're on this call, you want to be the leader. You want to bring that leader out of you, and you want to produce more leaders on your team for them to grow. So next slide. Okay. Leadership is. These are some little quotes that really define what a leadership is. Taking responsibility while others are making excuses. Are you doing that? Evoking others in the capacity to dream. Inspiring others with a vision of what they can contribute. Are you asking yourself these questions? Are you really truly asking yourself what you can contribute to yourself being a coach? Now, is the power of one of them, and leadership is the power of the one and made many and many made one. Leadership is the capacity to care and in caring to liberate the ideas, energies, and capacities of others. Leadership is your heart speaking to the hearts of others. Are you speaking to the heart? And leadership is the dream made flesh. Next slide. Okay, the growth and development of people is the highest calling of leadership. I love that one. It takes a leader to know a leader, it takes a leader to show a leader, and it takes a leader to grow a leader. Next slide. So these are questions I want you to ask yourself as a leader of your own team. So list 5 to 6 team members closest to you which you lead. And list the top 3 qualities that you have drawn them to you. Again, you attract what you are. So you're mirroring yourself. Number 3, are you developing them as leaders? Do you have a game plan for them? Are they growing? Have they been able to lift your load? If so, why? And I should have put, and why not? Number 4, is your team making it a priority to develop leaders? And again, why or why not? And 5, what can you do in your current position to help develop leaders on your team? Next slide. Okay. There is no future in any job. The future lies in the person who holds the job. This is by George Crane. Now, when our coach told me, said this quote, I got shivers, because it's true. We determine our success, our income. So we are the asset of our own company. And why? Leaders have the capability to make things happen. We get things done because leadership is influence. I said in influence. Leadership is influence. We are going somewhere, and they are able to persuade others to go with them. Next slide. And this is the last one. Change your way of thinking. And this is really what I want you all to really change.
Megan, can you hear? No?
No, she just muted out. I was typing the quote on my page.
Marina, we can't hear you, babe. She looks frozen. Well, this is her last slide. So why don't we let Kat go ahead, and then Marina will come back to you. So Kat, I unmuted you. You can go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of continue off of where she was anyways, the whole point of that leadership is influence. I found this graphic online and I added in a little bit of notes, and I'll just kind of go through it quickly. But the 5 levels of leadership we were talking about, this can also be looked at because leaders are, influencers. They're going to be that part. So you kind of go from the bottom up. And she had mentioned that 1 and 5 are kind of easy. 1 is given, and then 5 is pretty much earned as long as you can hit 4. But it's all those parts in the middle that are a little bit harder. So if you start from the bottom, if you're looking at position, that's the level of rights. People are going to follow you because they have to. They have no choice. So this is kind of positional, like a boss or a manager. It's kind of appointed. It's not necessarily earned. You have little influence over people because there's really no ability or effort involved in that. But then again, like Marina talked about, there is a difference between manager and boss and a leader. That's one of the things that we talked about. You aren't automatically one just because you are the other. Kind of moving up the level of leadership, when you get to the permission, that's a level of relationships. That's where people start to follow you because they want to. And a lot of us get to that part really quickly. They believe in you. They trust in you. They don't have to. They want to. So you're starting to build that level of respect. You're starting to build that influence. And I remember saying during the session that I'm like a hard 3. I know I definitely have hit the production level. That's the level of results. People follow you because of what you have done for the organization, or your accomplishments. Your influence is basically strengthened as a result of what is accomplished together. This is where your team comes in. And that's why it's really important to kind of look at those people that are around you and see, what's going on and how you can make it go further. And one of the things that I gathered from this is this can be a really rewarding phase in your life, but it's not necessarily lasting success. This can kind of be stagnant. You don't really want to necessarily stay here, even though it is feeling really good. Yeah, I'm helping people and we're a team, we're doing really well, but you kind of still want to always aim above that. All of these build on each other, the levels of influence. Level 4 is people development. And that's the level of reproduction. People follow you because of what you have done for them. And that's what we really want to strive to do. Producers creating reproducers. You don't want to just, create people that can, do what you do, but maybe do what you do better. What's in it for them? They're developing, they're inspiring other leaders as well, not just followers. This is when you're starting to change lives and really beginning those kind of lifelong relationships. And then the final one is personhood, or the pinnacle. If you've read the book, This is level of respect. People follow you because of who you are and what you represent. Like, these are going to be people like Gandhi and, John Maxwell himself, things like that. It kind of requires talent. It's who you are and what you represent. It's your values. So that's kind of the highest level of leadership there. But one of the things I took away from this is you really have a constant reevaluation of your influence and your leadership and where your team is. You have to be looking at all of the members of your team at all times, and because there's ebb and flow, obviously, things are going to change. One of the things that the life coach brought up was, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard it before, people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And you have to think about, people come to you, and are they going to be there just for one purpose? Are they going to be there to develop a higher relationship, or are they going to be there, forever kind of thing? So you always have to be thinking about that. And you can go to the next slide. To build leaders and influence people positively, you have to be thinking about modeling, and it goes into these 5 steps for turning producers into reproducers. There was a quote. I just can't remember it verbatim, but I wrote down the page number. Yeah. Nothing is more confusing than people who give good advice and set bad examples. And that was Norman Vincent Peale. And so we always say, you got to walk the walk and talk the talk. You got to do what it is that you're saying you're doing. You can't just always be passing along the information to your coaches and saying, okay, go do this. But then you just kind of stand back. You have to be doing it yourself as well. You have to make sure that what people hear and see, that you want to make sure that that's, it's going to influence what they're actually going to do. So these 5 steps for turning producers into reproducers, which obviously are more leaders, which is what we want. We want to develop our team so that they can do what we do, and we can help more people that way. Step 1 is I model. You're going to say and do. People learn 89% visually. And so those of you that have made vision boards before, that's going to be one of those things that really stands out to you because you're able to see it. 10% is audio, 1% is others. So work on that visual kind of thing, and always work on yourself before others. She used an example that, when you're on an airplane, they always tell you if the oxygen mask comes down, you put your mask on first before you help another person. So that's the type of thing. Always be thinking about yourself first and working on yourself first before you can work on others. And how this relates to Beachbody, your personal development, make sure you schedule it. Make sure that there's time in your day to do that, even if it's just 10 minutes. Be working on yourself, model your examples for your coaches. The next step is I mentor. This is when you're going to encourage, you're showing faith in them, you're being open and honest. You have to have like a level of compatibility and mutual respect for your coaches as well. Be an effective mentor. You want to be mature, but you also want to be experienced with this. Show compassion, so show respect. You have to obviously make sure you have a level of confidentiality. You don't want to be sharing everything with other people. Have to have self-discipline and also the ability to evaluate. And so if you're modeling those things to your coaches, they're going to take those things and do it for their coaches and for their coaches, and it's just going to be a trifecta tenfold. I monitor. Share what has worked. We always talk about sharing little nuggets of information. This is where the trainings come in. You have training groups. Today on the call, the National Wake Up Call with Katie Ursa, she talked about having roadmaps, our 3 vital behaviors. Make sure that your coaches know those and can follow those. You need to give them a solid foundation so they can see where they are and then build them up from there. You have to be giving your coaches chances to show you what it is that they can do. You don't automatically just be like, oh, okay, they're going to be a discount coach. No, you've got to work with them. You've got to see where it is they want to go, work on their strengths, work on their weaknesses, figure out how they can kind of go together. We talked a lot in the sessions about breaking self-limiting beliefs. So if you have self-limiting beliefs yourself, you are going to have to break through your own before you can help people break through their others. But also know that you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. We all learn from that. Step 4 is I motivate. This is where recognition comes in. You have that team approach. Make sure that you're always recognizing what's going on. That's another thing Katie Ursa talked about today, making sure that you're not just rewarding the end product. making sure that you're kind of looking at those different things along the way, like, hey, you ran your first challenge group, awesome, you know, those kinds of things. Make sure they have the ability to accept it. I wrote down, and I don't understand what I wrote down. Ability to accept if they do better. Oh yes, ability to accept if they do better. If they do better than you, like, you know, I'm a diamond coach right now. If someone else makes star diamond coach before I do, more power to you, man. That means that I feel like I have a part of that I was able to show you the right steps in the right direction, and you were able to take that and run with it. And I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm not going to be sad. I'm going to be excited, because that's what we're here for, right? Give credit where it's due. Make sure you can relinquish control and hand off the baton. I love that Rachel, like, as nerve-wracking as this is, I love that she's allowing us to share these experiences with you, because you get this different approach. It's nerve-wracking. And, you know, for us as coaches too, to hand off that baton to somebody else can be a little scary too, but you've got to let people shine where they know how to shine. And I really liked how it talked about empowering others to be their best, not your best. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. Let them shine where they're able to shine. And then finally, I multiply. Obviously, we want to take the best of ourselves and multiply that so we can have little pieces of everything everywhere. But no does not equal go. Like, KNOW, no. We have to create leaders to go with us and to also carry it on, you know, alongside of us and even after us. There's opportunities for growth. Make sure you're giving feedback in a positive manner, and make sure there's reflection and motivation. So my reflection for you, and this is the biggest thing that I took away from this, make sure 80% of the time that you spend is on the top 20% of your leaders. That's where you're going to really find the best, you know, to kind of go here, know where they're at. You're not going to burn yourself out if you're trying to focus on too much at the same time. Some are going to put in all, some you're going to be like, okay, here's some resources, I'll check in with you later. You know, you've got to figure out where people are going to be, but this is also a process. And this was another thing that was on the National Wake Up Call. I loved it. I was listening and I kept nodding my head. I'm like, oh, this was all like connecting with this weekend. This is amazing. The focus on the process and growth versus necessarily focusing on like goals and events. If you're following the process and you're working on the growth, all of those little things are going to hit as you're working along the way. Your recognition, your rank advancement and things like that, your earnings, everything else is going to kind of work with you as long as you're following along that growth process. Like Marina talked about the acorn idea. There's exponential potential there. And make sure that you're encouraging people to reach their own potential. No one is going to do it for you. Jeff Hill told us that today, right? So make sure that whatever legacy you're leaving behind is one that you're going to want to be remembered for. Final note, and I didn't put this on the slide, I should have. The quote was, the major difference between successful and unsuccessful people is how they think. The four main things I took away from this: be positive, be focused, be reflective, but be realistic. Thank you.
Awesome. Y'all killed it. Good job.
Wait, can you say those things again? Positive. I'm writing it down. I can write so
this wasn't even written down anywhere. This is all me. But be positive, be focused, be reflective, and be realistic.
Love it.
Those were my big things. That's just, you know, to be successful. These are the four things I need to focus on all the time, or else I'm like sad. So
that's amazing.
No, that's good stuff.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Y'all
Thanks,
did great.
ladies. That was great.
And if you want more information, John Maxwell has books, Developing the Leaders Around You. So pick up his book from Amazon or whatever. I would get it on Audible so you can just listen to it and soak it all in, because repetition's the mother of skill. You know, I was there this weekend and I heard her talk, but I still learned something because I heard it again from a different person in a different way. So thank you, ladies. And I don't think we have time for Q&A since we have to jump on the opportunity webinar. But if you guys have questions, post in our team page and Kat and Marina will answer, or myself.
Yeah, and same in our pages post. And just think that just a really quick point before we head out. I love how you said work on process and growth instead of specific goals. Other things will happen along the way. Like I know we have a Diamond Dash going on this month. We all have these rank advancement goals and Success Club goals and all that, which is amazing. But it's about the the action steps every single day. You know, it's the steps that you have to take and the process and the growth. So focus on doing your daily behaviors and the rest will happen. It just happens naturally from your daily behaviors, guys. So I love that. That was great. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Good job.
And hopefully you'll jump on the business opportunity webinar if you can. If not, have a great night, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. Bye.